Ashley, Sheriff, Okaloosa County up in the Panhandle. I'm here as a former member of the Governor's Task Force on Stand Your Ground Law, as well as a representative of the Florida Sheriff's Association today. Wanted to say that we had met with Senator Simmons this morning, and certainly we, in general speaking, we support this effort and this bill to implement those task force recommendations. Our one concern was in the delete everything amendment was, of course, the training piece, which we discussed, and he's much more articulate than I, and I've already discussed that earlier today, so we know that we can correct those concerns, and the language is forthcoming. But I wanted to say unequivocally that every sheriff in the state of Florida believes in the right to self-defense. We depend on our citizens having that ability to defend themselves because we can't be everywhere. And so I just wanted to say that with these efforts, I applaud you and Senator Simmons and Senator Smith, and certainly I agree with, having sat on that task force, that we certainly didn't want to usurp the authority of the legislative body. We made recommendations based on issues that we discussed and left those bigger pieces of the pie for you to handle. But the civil liability portion was discussed, and it was a concern. And it was because of gross negligence that even in the defense of oneself, you still may want to know what target acquisition is. Certainly law enforcement officers don't defend themselves by shooting into a school bus that's down the road because the suspect stands between you and them. Those things are certainly in consideration. But thank you for allowing us to speak here today and give our opinion, and certainly willing to answer any questions.
Are there questions of the sheriff? Sheriff, I have a couple of questions, and you've addressed one of them already by illuminating on the whole nature of how we got to the recommendation language that came out of the Governor's Task Force. I appreciate you covering that.
Yes, sir.
The General Counsel from the NAACP commented, and I'm sure if she were sitting on this dais and you were at the podium there, she would want you to comment on whether or not you believe there is any ambiguity in your obligation to perform a thorough investigation on a stand your ground case in Florida.
None whatsoever. I know that because of the case that was in question, that certainly was discussed, but we have not only the obligation but the desire to get to the bottom of it. We're fact finders. We don't make the ultimate decision on or judge that. We look for the facts, present those facts to our prosecutors and to the judicial body. So no, there's an obligation already, and we are ready to perform that obligation.
Further questions? Thank you, Sheriff. We appreciate you being here.
My pleasure.
Thank you for your service.